Yes, come on, D'Artagnan. Make a move. Show us what you're made of. Looking around again, they're thinking about it. There's many options for them. They don't need to rush. I mean, rather do it properly. Rather take your time and make sure. I think, Kirst, I think I heard what you said, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just going to go with it anyways. Okay, we'll stay here. They seem to be flat for the moment, but we might even inch a little bit closer towards them. In the meantime, we're going to jump back on Scott's car, and I wonder if the rain has passed.
The rain certainly hasn't stopped here, but I'm glad it's not too bad across where Taylor is. We have left the lioness and come in the hopes of finding 3 big male lions that we saw sleeping here this afternoon, but we found a roadblock. Some elephants. And we've been having a very slow drive here. The roads get very, very slippery, surprisingly so, after a little bit of rain. And sorry to hear that Taylor is now the queen of the Marshmallow Club. Jamie will be relieved that she has taken over the title. Jamie was the long-standing queen of the Marshmallow Club. And sorry to hear about Taylor's misfortune today, but it is quite funny amongst the guides and presenters. You don't want to be the queen or the king of the Marshmallow Club, that's for certain. She will get a little bit of abuse in camp from that. What a wonderful scene this is. It's so great to watch animals in the rain. It's something we haven't done very much of in my time with Safari Live. And the elephants are certainly not perturbed by this weather. They actually seem to love it, as you can see. Not quite like the lions. Oh, slipped there. Hello, Joy. You would like to know if elephants are grazers or browsers. And they are both. They do a combination of the two, but if they had their way, they would be predominantly grazers. Their favorite food is fresh green grass. It's easy for them to eat, easy on their teeth, and obviously they find it quite tasty and nutritious. But a lot of the time they'll have to be resourceful and feed on the leaves of trees, the fruits of trees, bark, roots. They get very, very resourceful and actually alter their diet quite a lot throughout the year, depending on whatever is the tastiest and most nutritious at that time of the year. Down in Djuma, where Noel and Tristan are, they're going to be enjoying the marula fruits in the next few months. I think in January or February, the marula fruits will start to ripen, and it's one of the most wonderful scenes you can imagine. Elephants running from tree to tree, trying to beat their herd members there to get all the tasty fruits. Good. I wonder if we can't have a snipe to see if we can't see where the lions were a little bit earlier on this morning. We kind of have a view of that general direction, so let's have a scan across there. I can't remember exactly where it was. As you can see, there's a few more elephants dotted in the bushes, evidently browsing at the moment. Some safari goers enjoying this interesting weather. We've got good news from Taylor. The musketeers are up and on the move, and so are you.
Barely. Let's see. Now, yes. Go, Cheetah, go. Who's on the ground? See, now the tables are turning. Now D'Artagnan's fighting back after being bullied for most of the afternoon. Good for you, man. Good for you. Stand up to those boys. There's a constant battle between coalitions, or between the males within a coalition, for dominance. I mean, when you are the dominant male, you get, mating rights with the female, you get to eat fish, you get to do all these things. Let's see. Yeah, he really is fighting back now. I can't tell you how he was given a hiding, him and one other cheetah. It was quite an intense fight, a couple of intense fights that they had. There was quite a lot of vocalizations as well. They don't seem to be making too much noise now. Yeah, they're all wary of him. He's showing, yeah, good boy. You show them who's boss. He's not a small cat either. He's definitely a decent-sized cheetah. So I think those times where I've just seen him not being so dominant was just coincidence, just my bad luck. And you sort of see as soon as he comes in, everybody goes, oh, hello, a bit wary. They're slowly moving towards us again. And we're heading in the direction. They're following now the zebra and the wildebeest. They are going to meet a group of Thompson's gazelle. I don't think they're going to be too bothered by them. We'll see. It might change. The Thompson's gazelle, of course, have now seen them. Oh, that's beautiful to have all 5 in the same frame. I hope you're getting some good screenshots. That's really pretty. Aren't we so lucky? I mean, I have never seen this before. This is just so incredible. This is honestly like a dream come true. I always say this. I don't think I could have dreamt of seeing so many cheetah together. Just listening to see if I can hear the wildebeest are slowly starting their afternoon chorus. They're looking around them now. What do they see? What else has popped up? Nothing. No one's come out of the bushes. I think they're just scanning around just to make sure. Oh, the weather systems in this area move incredibly quickly. It's actually frightening how fast a storm comes in. And I think they've given themselves away, though, because all the animals are now watching them. What have you seen? Just that posture is changing slightly. Where's my binoculars? Let me just quickly scan around along the tree line. Can't see anything. No, there isn't anything this side. There were a couple of buffalo, but they will not be going for a buffalo, especially not a fully grown buffalo bull. That's for certain. Can I show you something, Manu, that is so beautiful? It is amazing. It's the zebra walking on the horizon with the most gorgeous clouds as a backdrop. I'm watching the cheetah. I'm making sure they don't chase off after anything. I just had to show you that. It is so spectacular. But the zebra know that they're there now. They were staring in that direction. Of course, the cheetah weren't concealing themselves. They're standing up and they're walking in very short grass. Anything with relatively good eyesight will spot them. And we know that zebra have got phenomenal eyesight. They're not alarming, though. They're just keeping an eye out. I think they know that they're further enough away to not worry. But that is so stunning. Thank you, Manu. That was very kind of you. There's still cars coming in. That's so interesting. It's getting very late now. But I don't know what these cheetah are staring at. They've changed. They're looking somewhere else. Like I said, this is the drainage line where that lioness was as well. And I can hear some crowned lapwings alarming. So I wonder what was moving along the lugger. Just having a quick look with my binoculars. Still just see the buffalo. No, I don't see anything else that could have alarmed them. Maybe they were just listening to the alarm calls of the crowned lapwings. Okay, they've settled down again. But we'll keep you up to date as soon as they start marching towards the animals. They've got a bit of ground to cover. Tristan is not having much luck with the cats this morning or this afternoon. Tristan, I'm sending all the positive vibes all the way to South Africa, and I hope you find yourself a leopard.
Well, thanks, Taylor. Hopefully we'll get some luck at some point over the next little bit. We did find fresh tracks for a female leopard on top of our tracks from this morning, but I can't seem to find where she's gone once she leaves the Mulawati. So she seems to be heading in a southeasterly direction towards Mamba side, but alas, I can't find anything in all of this long grass and thick vegetation. So I'm just going to keep doing some loops around here, and maybe I'll get lucky with some sort of alarm call, or maybe I have another fresher track. But there's definitely tracks on top of ours that come from this side going south, like I say, and then east out of the Mulawati itself. Now who it could be, I'm not quite sure. Could be either Shadow or Tundi. Both of them have been seen in this area, but given that it comes pretty much from this side, it seems more feasible that it would be Thandi that would have come this way. The thing is I can't work out where she must have been this morning, because I drove all of these areas, I didn't catch any tracks whatsoever, and I still can't find tracks on the roads themselves, except for where I drove in the Mulawati. Outside of that, there doesn't seem to be any tracks anywhere. I just want to double check here quickly. So I just wanted to see if she came up this road, but she didn't. It seems as though these are the tracks for a long time ago when we tracked her down and we actually found her here. So these are not tracks that we're looking for. It also could be Shadow. The last tracks for Shadow that we found were ones near the Bushbrae site coming in an easterly direction, so she could easily have gone into the Mulawati and just snaked her way down. So difficult to say which one it is. Right, now it sounds like the Mara team is really holding down the fort this afternoon when it comes to prolific sightings. They seem to be having cats falling all over the place. So let's go back to Scotty and a big male lion.
Well, is this not an absolutely breathtaking scene? The sun is doing its best to break out of the clouds. It's still raining, not too strongly, and we've been forced to kind of let the rain pitter-patter slowly and gently through the window that we are filming through now. We cannot off-road in this area, so we've had to park the vehicle into the wind, which is all good because, like I said, thankfully it is beginning to subside. Now, as you can see, there is a large blob of lion with a full belly. He's a big male, one of the triangle boys, and he was lying in this open clearing this morning with two of his coalition members. However, we can't seem to work out where they've gone. Maybe they've got up and moved to seek refuge under some bushes. There are a few bushes off to our left. This guy doesn't seem too concerned at all. So we have just arrived in this area. We may take a quick drive around and make sure the other boys don't have their heads up. What we are hoping to do is get a shot of them shaking their wet, soggy manes, because it will make for a beautiful, beautiful scene. So that is what we are hoping for, and it's kind of one of the reasons why we ditched the lioness. We were sitting there hoping she would give us a nice head shake, but she didn't. Ooh, is this the moment we've been waiting for? Get up and shake that big, beautiful mane of yours. So, those are our plans. And let's hope he cooperates. I've got no idea what he fed on to fill his belly, but there must have been quite a lot of whatever it was, because all three of them were in a similar state. Maybe a zebra, who knows, maybe they stole it from some of their girlfriends. Hello, Handy Mike, forever. Good to have you with us. You would like to know if lions will ever seek refuge in the rain. And yes, I guess if there's obvious refuge nearby, they will try and get under it. But to be honest, when it's really pelting down, there's nowhere really you can go, unless there's a cave or something like that. So, oh, he's rolling over. As you can see, he doesn't have a worry in the world. He's not thinking about seeking any refuge, but it seems like his two brothers, or partners in crime rather, may well have. So, I guess just like humans, some people may be bothered by the rain a little bit more than others. He doesn't seem to have a care in the world. What we are going to do, though, is probably take a short little exploration drive, just a few hundred meters or so, to work out if we can't see if his partners are in fact seeking refuge under a tree or a bush. They could well be. I mean, the lioness we were with earlier, she got up and started moving, but certainly didn't seek any refuge. She ended up lying down out in the open. So I guess as a general rule, there's probably not many places they can go. It would be interesting, though, to follow the life of a sneaky, clever animal and find out where it hides out, like a leopard sleeping in a nice, warm, dry cave. Sadly, though, there's not necessarily caves in every ecosystem. There's certainly not many here in the Mara. They'd have to lower their standards and squirm down a warthog burrow to get out of the rain. Good. So I think like I said, I want to take a little drive around, see if we can't see where his brothers are. Maybe they will have their heads up and in a more fortunate position, because this guy isn't giving us the best view for the time being. Ooh. He's thinking about rolling over again, it looks like, but he has decided not to, and Taylor's cheetah have decided to get up, and they are on the move, and you're going to go and follow what they get up to.
They are on the move. Isn't that beautiful? Just walking in the same line that the zebra and wildebeest were walking, straight across the horizon with a very, very dark, eerie sky. Beautiful, sort of cotton candy-like clouds this afternoon. It is stunning. But that actually scares me, the wall of clouds that's coming towards us. I'm frightened. Absolutely frightened. Have a look at that. And then we will go closer. Isn't that amazing? It's like a huge wave. It's like a tsunami of a cloud engulfing the entire Masai Mara. Everything is so dramatic out here. Right, let me go up closer. Right, bad news for the cheetah though. Well, I suppose, not necessarily bad news, but everything has seen them and is now watching them. They're going to have to change their strategy slightly. Instead of trying to sneak up to the prey, they might just have to run towards them and hope that somebody panics and, you know, runs in the opposite direction, and then there'll be one that can be singled out. And we'll just go around. Everyone's still waiting up top there. That they're heading straight towards the wildebeest. I think they've said to themselves today that they want wildebeest and they're going to get wildebeest. Let's hope that that's the case. I'll just head up around here again. Oh, there's lots of them. Lots of different animals now. Just deciding what we're going to do. Some of them are having a drink, but I'm not going to drive all the way up to them to watch them. They've almost basically finished now. We'll try and get a good spot for the hunt. Actually, that's going to be nice money with the sunset behind them. Right, Turbo Taylor. Have you seen much of Turbo Taylor? Okay, I'm gonna hang on. One's running, but not running, trotting, sorry. They're just trotting towards a massive herd of Thompson's gazelle. I'm just watching very carefully. They want to hunt. Just when is it going to happen? This is the question. This is the question. Coast, we can go live if you like. No, it's just trotting. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this live broadcast. In case you have just joined us, we are live from the Masai Mara National Reserve. You can see there's a beautiful cheetah with some zebra running in the distance, and they are very, very hungry. And I've got good news for you. It's not just one cheetah. There are 4 others too. It's the famous musketeers that roam around the Hamakop region in the Masai Mara, which are very, very cool. And like I said, this is live, so you can actually have a chat with me if you've got any questions about cheetah or just about coming on a safari in general. I'd absolutely love to hear from you. You can just comment away. But my name is Taylor, and on camera with me today bringing you this amazing footage is Manu. And I think we're going to need to just reposition just very quickly and just a touch, not too much. We don't want to get too close. We want to give them enough room, but I want to turn and face the animals just so you can also see what an array they've got on their dinner plate this evening, or potentially whether or not they're going to catch something. That's what's exciting. They've been pushing forward for the last hour and a bit now, on the move, trying to hunt something but haven't been successful, and the conditions are now perfect. The wind is blowing a fair amount. There is more rain on the way, and it's getting to that sort of crepuscular light, which is quite tricky for the herbivores to see in. Now, Kobahora, you say lovable animals? Yes, to us, but perhaps not to the wildebeest and the zebra and the Thompson's gazelle, because that's what they're looking for. I think they're deciding on who they're going for at the moment. They've actually all split up, and it'll be quite interesting. Normally when cheetah hunts, it's typically quite chaotic, and you never know where to look. But there is one up in front that has decided to take the lead this afternoon, and hopefully he's going to be the one that initiates the hunt and starts the chase. Those guys that might hang around at the back and just see which wildebeest or which Thompson's gazelle, which zebra is going to be chosen. Now, as they're moving through herds like this, they'll be scanning, they'll be looking left, right, and center for potential weaknesses. Now, Michelle, you said that the sky in the background looks amazing. We are very blessed with the most dramatic skies this evening. Earlier I was talking about how it's almost like a tsunami of clouds, it just engulfing the Masai Mara. It is stunning out here. We didn't get much of a sunset. It was a little bit. It is behind us, but unfortunately our focus is on the cheetah right now. We might be able to have a look at the sunset in a little bit, but let's see what these boys get up to first. I'm just checking what the others are doing. They're still walking. Mila, you're wondering how far the cheetah from the prey? They're actually very close now. The camera's a bit deceiving. It makes the things look a lot closer than they are. They must be about 40 or 50 meters away from the prey. That's typically the distance that they need to sort of pick up the pace and start charging towards their prey. But I think they're trying to suss out what's going on in the herd. Here we go. Just trotting along. Not quite racing off just yet. Has it seen a wildebeest that it likes the look of? If there's a young wildebeest in here, they'll probably go for something like that. Even though there are 5 of them, and they'll be potentially together, they'll be quite strong. They want the easiest prey that they can take down without, of course, injuring themselves. Now, those striped animals in front, those zebra, are very, very strong, and I think it would be unwise for them to challenge some of those adults, because one false move, and I always say this, and a kick to the head or even to the sides could cause some serious damage. But wildebeest are just as dangerous to take on. They're armed with those horns. However, and they might have a better chance of taking them down. These musketeers are specialists at taking on wildebeest. But you can see the size difference, though. It's massive. And they're not afraid. And if you're wondering why on earth the wildebeest and things aren't running away, is they want to... Oh, here we go. Shelley, we've got a telepathic connection. You've just asked that. You were just wondering why aren't the prey running away. So what happens often, it's not just with cheetah, you see it with lions and leopards too. If the prey species have spotted the predator, they make themselves known. They basically say, I've seen you, don't try and sneak up on me because I know that you're here. I'm going to be faster than you, I've got more stamina than you, I'm going to outperform you. And a lot of the animals do rely on stalking up to their prey. Cheetah don't necessarily, sometimes they'll just rush at it, but they only have a certain amount of sort of speed, and that only lasts for a couple of 100 meters. So if they burn that out, then they're done, and they have to stop and have a little break. Manu, do you want to go up a bit closer before they disappear? Right, you can see how far away we are from these animals, which is really incredible to be able to put so much distance between us. And if you did see some of the other cars, this is a national park, so there are lots of other people here on safari, except we are the only ones that are allowed to stay here after dark. So everyone's going to have to go home soon. The park is going to close. So I just want to see what's going on. I just see the zebra have picked up the pace slightly. I'm just watching 1, 2 cheetah. Where are the rest? 3 cheetah. They're not running yet. 4, 5. Okay. They're deciding what they're going to do. I just want to get into a better spot here very, very quickly. Oh my goodness, you're all going to absolutely love the view we're about to look upon. This is incredible. Look at all these animals. Look at the landscape, the clouds. What a spectacular scene. Here we go. 1 cheetah now running in. Now, the cheetah have almost formed a long line. I think they're trying to cause a frenzy here. I mean, that's really just a trot for a cheetah. The wildebeest are panicking quite a bit. Do you see all the youngsters in there? That's what ideally they're going to want to go for. There we go. There's a couple of them rushing into the herd, trying to cause havoc. And now, whoever gets their target first, whoever grabs one wildebeest or a zebra or whatever animal means, the others will charge in and help bring it down. But no one has rushed in yet. It's very hard to try and keep focus on where to look because they're so spread out now. Now, Chantal, you're wondering how fast can a zebra or wildebeest run? Not particularly quick, nowhere near the speed of a cheetah. I mean, cheetah's anywhere between 110 and 120 kilometers an hour. A wildebeest and zebra, you probably find that they can move at about... they look, what have they got? Is it a little scrub hare? Oh, no. It's a baby Thompson's gazelle. Oh, they've got it. I don't know where they flushed that out from. They've got it. They managed to catch it. That really wasn't really a challenge at all. Unfortunately, I think that little one just got spooked and ran away from mom. Oh no, I'm so sorry, little one. But this is nature. This is just one of those things. Look at the wildebeest charging in, though. They're not happy about this situation. Well done, Cheetah, though. Well-deserved meal. Not a particularly big meal, though, for 5 Cheetah. That is just a little snack. I wonder where that came from. I didn't even see those little Thompson's gazelle. Now, Jim, you're wondering if the wildebeest will come in and save that little Thompson's gazelle? No, I don't think so. I think time's up. I don't know if you noticed when one grabbed it. Sorry about that. Vehicle's just passing in front. There might be one more. That hopefully will be the last one. They did come charging in, and another cheetah actually charged back towards them, so they do tend to do that. Buffalo, however, are exceptional, and elephants, they often come to the aid of animals that are in distress. But that little Tommy didn't even let off a distress call. It happened so quickly. I'm pretty sure the adrenaline was pumping through that little one's veins, and I think it was a quick and painless death for that youngster. I think let's move in a bit closer, Manu. Let's go, because these cars are all repositioning. Sorry about that, everybody. Let's go get a good view now. Now we can move into the sighting. Now that they have taken it in, we want to give them as much room as we can. We'll go in and take a much better view now. And then we'll also just try and park so that no more cars go in front of us. But like I said, everybody's on safari. Everyone's very excited to see that. Imagine, some people have been coming on safari for years and years and dream of seeing a hunt of animals. And I've guided guests who have been coming on safari for once every 10 years and never seen hunts. So not only is it incredible for me, not only is it incredible for me, this car. I'm having the greatest time, as you can see, with this vehicle. It's going to park us up here. There we go. Just also because the light is fading just a little bit at the moment. It's getting dark quite quickly with the clouds. So we need to get a bit closer. We haven't got our infrared just on yet. Now they're playing tug of war. All trying to get a little bit. Like I said, I mean, they've basically finished it. It's pretty much done now. There isn't really much on a little Thompson's gazelle. Now, Laurie, you're wondering how often did these cheetah hunt? These boys seem to hunt almost every single day. I suppose it just depends on what they catch. Like I said, this is not much. They might even go in and try and catch something else. That cheetah actually, what are you going to do, boy? Are you going to go charging on in? I don't think he's happy with the crowd that's decided to watch him. Or maybe it's just because he actually didn't get a mouthful at all and he's going to try again. It wouldn't surprise me if they did go in and try and catch something else. They need to. They need a good feed. But unfortunately, like lions, like leopards, they're not particularly successful creatures when it comes to hunting, and it takes them a few attempts before they come right. See, look at that. Who's going to be your target? There you go, trying again. Let's see. And they haven't got to full speed once. There you go. Who have you chosen? Charging after somebody. I can't see which wildebeest this cheetah's going for. No, a little bit intimidated having them charge past like that. Now, if a wildebeest were to hit a cheetah at full speed, that cheetah would get knocked straight off its feet, trying again. So he's just trying to separate the group there. And then eventually, oh my goodness, look at it, really picking up speed now. But you can see how quickly they can cover ground. Absolute frenzy at the moment. The wildebeest going round and round in circles, stopping and staring again. And they need to stay in a nice tight group. as long as one doesn't get singled out, they'll stand a chance. But it's gone flat in the grass. The others are coming to join in now. Sorry, there was a question about how long would it take for them to finish this Thompson's gazelle. They've basically eaten it. There's nothing left. It was really just one or two mouthfuls, and it was from Ashley. So thanks very much, Ashley, for that question. So I think they're going to try again now. They didn't really use much energy chasing after that Thompson's gazelle. Like I said, it was like a little warm-up round. Come on, boys, you can do it. You can get something bigger than that. This is very exciting. Very, very, very interesting. So we've been seeing the Thompson's gazelle pretty much the entire afternoon. Mark, you said what an amazing animal. They truly are spectacular. They really, really are. That male cheetah that we just saw there that was busy feeding up on the last of the Thompson's gazelle, he goes by the name of D'Artagnan. He's got a collar on him. So there's obviously huge research that's been done on cheetahs, as they're an endangered species. So it's important that we sit here like we are right now, and we observe their behavior and we film it, and it's really nice that we are able to stay out at night at late, because a lot of the footage that we're getting, I don't think people realize that how often cheetah hunted in the early hours of the morning. I mean, it's a big misconception. People say that cheetah typically are diurnal, just like wild dog, but it's not to say that they don't hunt at night. I mean, one of the main reasons why they prefer to hunt during the day is they're trying to avoid the other bigger predators. The wild dog and cheetah, unfortunately, are lower down on that predator hierarchy that we always talk about. Lions, leopard, hyenas being the top dogs in this area, and they predominantly are active at night and do most of their hunting at that time. But again, they also hunt during the day. So, you know, when you're competing for the same food source, wildebeest, zebra, impala, topi, you name it, sometimes it might be easier to just hunt in a different time when there are not too many other predators out. Otherwise, something like a cheetah will get chased off, it's killed by vultures, could get chased off, it's killed by every other possible predator. I mean, even groups of wild dog, not that there are massive populations of wild dog here, but wild dog will go in as well and give cheetah a run for their money. So unfortunately, they really are right down at the bottom of the food chain. But you can see they keep going, they're just pressing forward. Let's reposition again, Manu. I think we're going to leave. D'Artagnan's still feeding. We're not going to worry about him because we can come back to him. He's just eating at the moment. We could get a second chase here. So I just want to go around him. But he was lucky there. There was so much happening. I actually didn't even see who ended up grabbing that young Thompson's gazelle in the end. It happened so quickly. I am still yet to even see where the Thompson's gazelle are. I wonder if it wasn't just sitting down on the ground trying to, stay out of sight, out of mind. That typically happens quite a bit. Right, where are these cheetah? Can you see them? We got them, Manu. This light is getting to the point where it's even starting to play tricks on my eyes. I mean, having to look very, very, very carefully. Okay, I see them. I'll pick up the pace just a little bit. Here we go. Still watching. And this is just going to go on and on and on. They're going to constantly keep pushing these wildebeest, pushing the zebra, although the zebra have decided we're not hanging around yet, or they've moved off. And it's just the wildebeest that are now about. And some Thompson's gazelle as well. I don't think they're going to waste their energy on another one of those. Now, Brenda, you're wondering if cheetah are the most successful hunting predators? No. It's actually the wild dog. The wild dogs have got the highest success rate out of the predators. I would say out of every 10 hunts, a wild dog would bring something down 8 out of those 10 times, which is pretty spectacular. And that's because they rely on stamina. So hyenas and wild dogs have got a completely different hunting strategy to that of the cats. Cheetah, of course, will try and get fairly close and then rush at their prey and run at top speed and try and knock them off their feet. Lions and leopards typically try and get as close as they can to their prey. They need to also stalk right up to pretty much underneath their feet, within 20 to 30 meters away, and leopards even a little closer, even up to about 10 meters. And leopards will sort of leap out of the grass and pounce on their prey. Lions will chase and work in a team and try and bring an animal down like that. So wild dogs, hyenas, they can run and run and run and run, and particularly wild dogs can reach huge speeds, and they will just chase their prey until they are exhausted and their prey's got absolutely nothing left, and that's how they successfully bring down their prey, which is pretty spectacular. And if you are lucky, if you do watch Safari Live, you'll have the opportunity to see that with Tristan, Noel and Steph down in the Sabi sand, where the wild dog populations are plentiful. We're very fortunate, and we do see them every now and then. And to see one of those hunts is absolutely incredible. Oh, here we go. Is D'Artagnan finished now? Yes. I think here he is. He's going running in. I think that's him. I think he just came from behind the car. Yeah, I don't see him anymore. Now, as we sit here and sort of the night starts to fall upon us, Dan, you're wondering whether hyenas would be watching this and wanting to move. And most certainly, they haven't been making too much noise though, and neither have the wildebeest. So unless there's a den close by or a hyena's just been wandering through, there's been nothing to attract them to this area. So if something gives off a distress call, I would imagine that at this time of night the hyenas would just come racing on in towards these cheetah and then hopefully chase them off. If it's one hyena and these 5 cheetah, they might have a chance, but cheetah don't like to engage in conflict. They're not really equipped to fight off other predators. If you look at them, you can see that they are built for speed. Long, slender body, small head, underdeveloped sort of shoulders, but very, very powerful hindquarters. They don't have sharp claws. Their teeth aren't as big and strong and as sharp as a lion's or a leopard. So ideally, they want to just sort of take the defense side. Boys, you're going to have a break now. They've been on the move. They really, really have been missioning quite a bit today. I think what they might do here is I think they might actually settle down and have a little rest and try again a little bit. The wildebeest herds are now putting some distance between them and actually moving out of the area. That was incredible. We got to see a hunt. It was so quick. It was a little snack for these boys, but better than nothing, I suppose, when you're out here. And they didn't lose their meal to another predator. So I suppose it was a success for the musketeers this afternoon. But don't go anywhere. We are going to stay with these boys and see what they do. We're going to put on our infrared lights now so that we can view them without disturbing them at night, because I don't like the spotlight at all. So keep an eye out for those notifications. But for myself and Manu, it's been absolutely fantastic. And we hope to see you all soon. Oh, hello everyone. Who's still with us? We're going to have to put our infrared lights on now. It's a bit too dark to... A lion coming in. Oh my goodness, Manu, let me go closer. Let's get a... Let me position us better. Whew. I'm going to need to take a drink of water. Sorry, Chris, please can you repeat yourself? We are going to have to put our infrared lights on. This could get quite exciting, so we need to do this quite quickly. Right, I'm going to send you back to South Africa. We're going to put our infrared on and we're going to hopefully see how this plays out in a little bit.
Hello, welcome back everyone to South Africa. I have been driving around, Jean-Andre and I, looking for leopard tracks, looking for leopard. We found some other interesting tracks, some sort of elephant, but nothing's really popping out so much. I can't find our chameleon tracks we talked about. Nothing really popping out to us. So because it's not as hot, not as warm rather, we are gonna head to the hyena den and see if maybe we get lucky with hyena cubs. See if they're out playing in this last little bit of light. That sighting that is happening up in the Mara sounds absolutely amazing. What an incredible thing to witness. predator interactions amongst themselves and predator-prey interactions are some of my favorite things to view and to see on Game Drive. To me it's epic. It's epic how everything functions within the system and how they work sometimes for each other or against each other, and of course everything needs to eat. And very cheesily, I always remember that line from The Lion King where Mufasa is talking to Simba and says, you know, we eat the antelope, and then when we die, our bodies become the grass and the antelope eat the grass. So, cheesy Noel moment for the day. Okay, hyenas. Hyenas, hyenas, hyenas. Now, interestingly enough, we only have spotted hyenas here, not brown. We chatted about it a little bit the other day. But there is a book, and of course it's just escaped my name. The name. Anyway, so when Kruger was being established, there were reports of brown hyenas, and it's been an interesting discussion amongst myself and other people in the industry from time to time about whether or not it was actually a brown hyena that they saw here, or whether it was just a confusion with the spotted hyena. I've never really had it resolved. I think it's Africa's Eden. Sorry guys, it will come back to me. So in general, it's just been the spotted hyenas. Now, then in this area particularly, clans of hyenas tend to get quite large. Although Jean-Andre adding a couple of days ago, clans up in the Mara, so it also gets up there as well. So with head back to cheetah lion interaction and see what has been happening up there with
we're going to do a Facebook Live. Can we please go live? Sorry everybody, we're about to start another broadcast. Or is it settled down now? No, I'm not sure. I'm just deciding. This lioness rushed in, but now she's walking away very casually. My goodness, we had to just put our infrared lights on very, very quickly because it's getting dark now. We're pushing the camera quite a bit, and we wanted to make sure that we're prepared. I'm wondering if this is the lioness with the young cubs. And I think she's given me a clue as to where her new den site is. I don't think she's moved it far. I can't really see any suckle marks just yet. But hang on, when I did see her the first time as well, I didn't really notice any suckle marks. Those cubs are so young. Let's see if it is her. It would be hard to tell, I suppose. But she's walking back now. She chased the cheetah. She didn't really put up too much of a fight. She just sort of ran in, and then the cheetah were growling and making all sorts of strange noises at her. And now she's sort of lost interest. I think she's realized that they don't have anything, or what they have had is now done. I wonder if this is going to turn into a lion hunt, because she's very hungry as well. She doesn't look like she's had a meal for a few days. But still lean, still nice and muscly. What do you think, Manu? I'm just thinking about, in terms of the cheetah are up in front of us. They're moving away. You can just sort of see them scattered. I just want to see what's going on. They're moving away. Yeah, they're going to get out of the area now. They're not going to hang around, especially if there's a lion about. My goodness. There's a male lion. Hang on. Oh my goodness, all the action is happening. That's where she's headed. There's a male lion, 12 o'clock, straight in front of the car. All the animals. Oh, that's a beautiful lion. I think when those cheetah realize that there's a big male lion here, they're not going to hang about. Obviously, a wildebeest, topi, and some zebra in the background too. And he's staring at her. And she's pretty much beelining straight towards him as well. Cheetah moving off in the opposite direction. This is going to be quite hard to try and pick who to follow now. You know, because it's getting so dark, it is going to be difficult to try and follow those cheetah or stay with these lions. What a cool afternoon it's been. Definitely all the excitement that we've had this afternoon is made up for our mishaps. All my fault though. Every mishap we've had has just been me having the worst luck ever. but it's changed with the animals, so that's pretty cool. That makes up for it. She's still walking towards him. He's sat down in the grass now. I wonder if anybody got a good enough close-up of that female's face to see if we can try and compare with one of the photos that I posted, or perhaps you got some screenshots of that lioness that had the young cubs the other morning, just so that we can have a look. It's just strange. We're right in exactly the same area, within just a couple of 100 meters from that drainage line, from her old den site. Do you want me to go a bit closer for you, Manu? Okay, I'm going to quickly go forward while there's a bit of a gap, because there will be a bit of a greeting. We won't need to go too much further forward. I'm trying to keep an eye on those cheetah, because they're going down that way. They're going back the way they've came now. Okay. Almost there. Okay. Nearly. She's hungry. She's deciding if she's interested in the male or if she's more interested in food. I'd be more interested in food, girl. Don't worry, we won't judge you. You also start to hear all the frogs and the crickets and insects. I believe that you're all just as excited as I am. It's pretty spectacular, hey, what you can experience out here in the Mara. And now we're totally alone. There's no one else here. It's just us. Everyone else has had to go home. Unbelievable. I would never have guessed that there would have been any lions in here. I don't think anybody knew they were here at all. Actually, she's keeping her distance from him. And he doesn't seem too interested in her just yet. I don't know if they were together or if they both just saw the commotion of the wildebeest running around and were drawn to it. Like I said, there was not a peep that came from that little Thompson's gazelle. Not a peep. So I don't think they would have heard anything. They must have seen it from the distance or heard the wildebeest stampeding around, because that you could clearly hear. But they've all gone now. They've moved far away out of this area. I don't blame them. That's very cool. I think we should have a little vote here. What do we think? Do we follow the cheetah or do we stay with this male and female lion? Hashtag Safari Live, let us know, or let us know on the YouTube chat. Maybe we can get a little census going, and then I can decide. But you're going to have to be quick off the mark, though, because the musketeers are putting some distance between us and them, and it is going to be tricky to find them if they disappear down in the lugger. So I think we take the first few responses that we get. Obviously, it would be really nice if this is the female with the young cubs. I don't know if I wouldn't go to the den, even if she led me there, just because they're very teeny tiny. Even though we've got infrared, I think maybe we should just keep away from the den completely. But I also don't know, it could be quite interesting with this male and female. You know, he could be a new boy in the area. I don't know who he is. It's very difficult to see. He's approaching her now, so we'll get a closer look. H. Macy, you've said cheetah. That's our first answer. Look how she's been quite submissive. Everybody has voted cheetah. Fantastic. Let's just quickly see how this plays out. What could also have happened is she could just be pretending to lure this male away. Maybe it's a different male and it's not one that sired her cubs. If it is this female, I'm of course just speculating. I don't know for sure. Which would explain why she maybe moved her den if there were some youngsters. Now, there are supposed to be 4 big male lions in this area. We were talking about them when we had that unknown female cheetah the other day. I don't know what to do. I know you all want to follow the cheetah. So do I. I just want to see what happens here. We'll just give it a couple of minutes and then we'll shoot on off. I think he's going to go and test her urine. She doesn't seem very happy with him. There we go. So she's just urinated. Let's see. He's going to test. He's going to phlegm and grimace now. And of course that's the outward expression. Once they've used their scent gland, the vomeronasal gland, the Jacobson organ. There it goes. Okay, I think we're going to leave these lions and we're going to follow the cheetah. And while I try and catch up to the 5 musketeers, let's go back to Tristan and his rather large pachyderms.
Indeed, we do have a rather large male elephant, beautiful male that's finished swimming at Chitwa and is now just feeding gently off a knobthorn, and he's just been coasting along. He's a real gentleman, this individual. We've kind of been sitting with him for the last half an hour or so, and he's been very chilled. He hasn't at all even looked at us, really. He's just done his own thing and is taking it very easy. But he's a beautiful specimen of a male elephant. He's still fairly young, so I would say he's probably in his late 20s, early 30s. Just given the size of his tusks and various other things that he has on him, and markers with the temples and the size of his body. So that would be about the age that I would put him now. Sorry, there's a lot of noise in my ear right now. There's people talking all over the place. Anyway, but you can see how he's just single-handedly dismantling this poor baby knobthorn. It's being seriously manhandled at the moment. It's being picked apart and slowly but surely destroyed. The thing about it is it is a part of the acacia family, or, well, what was known as the acacia family. Go the other way. Now you'll see he's flapping his ears because it is still quite warm. Look at the power that they have and the intelligence that they want, and it's underneath a whole bunch of sticks. They just literally just lift it up and throw it, feeding gently off a knobthorn, and he's just been coasting along. He's a real gentleman, this individual. We've kind of been sitting with him for the last half an hour or so, and he's been very chilled. He hasn't at all even looked at us, really. He's just done his own thing and is taking it very easy. But he's a beautiful specimen of a male elephant. He's still fairly young, so I would say he's probably in his late 20s, early 30s, just given the size of his tusks and various other things that he has on him, and markers with the temples and the size of his body. So that would be about the age that I would put him now. Sorry, there's a lot of noise in my ear right now. There's people talking all over the place. Anyway, but you can see how he's just single-handedly dismantling this poor baby knobthorn. It's being seriously manhandled at the moment. It's being picked apart and slowly but surely destroyed. The thing about it is it is a part of the acacia family, or well, what was known as the acacia family, and they will produce tannins in order to stop this attack by this elephant. So eventually we'll find a situation where this ellie will stop feeding and then start moving off onto the next bit of vegetation. There we go. You see, they're already starting to go the other way. Now you'll see he's flapping his ears because it is still quite warm. Look at the power that they have and the intelligence. As soon as there's something that they want and it's underneath a whole bunch of sticks, they just literally just lift it up and throw it and then shove it into their mouths. It's quite amazing just to watch the way they go about things. It's been an elephant-filled couple days, that's for sure. We've really had an influx back in the area, which is wonderful to see. It's been so nice to spend large quantities of time with these guys. Well, yes, an elephant is not like your ruminating animals with the four stomachs. They are hind gut fermenter, so they basically have one big large vat that breaks everything down and then goes out the rear end. So they're not ruminating animals at all. They're part of the hind gut fermenting family. So zebras, you'll find these guys, rhino, hippos to a degree also have a very similar digestive tract, and it seems to work for these big animals because they can just pack in as much as they want and absorb a little bit of nutrients but still be able to fuel such a large body. And it's why they all have to be herbivores. Can you imagine a predator of this size, how much protein it would need in order to make up enough nutrients for that body weight? It would be absolutely unbelievable. Amazing. Right, well, I'm probably going to meander on from our elephant bull, see what else is around Chitwa. While I do that, I believe Noel has made her way towards the hyena den, and it sounds like there's some activity.
How exciting! And how just so cute. I can't even handle it. So just before, when you all were with Tristan, one was lying in its own little section of the den and the other one in the other, and now they're busy, as you can see, cuddling a little bit, smelling each other. There's a wildebeest in the background who's just seen them. Alarm called, and it's actually scared them. So I know I laughed there, but they're not running from my laugh, they're running from that wildebeest who's just realized that they're there. Wildebeest are not the smartest of our bushveld creatures. So what's happened with that wildebeest is he's realized that something close to this termite mound has moved. Could be a leopard, could be something. He's not quite sure. So rather make an alarm call now. And look there. Goodbye, wildebeest. And then he'll run away, and then he'll forget about what scared him, and then he'll turn around and come back. Can you all hear that? So it's basically a big like that. So another reason why the hyena cubs are going to move away with an alarm call is we know that wildebeest is alarm calling for these hyena cubs, but that is an alarm call for a predator. So they don't want to be killed by lion or by leopard or by hyenas that are not part of their clan. So their reaction to run away and run into the den is a good one. It means that they're going to keep themselves safe. But notice as well that because it's just one wildebeest making the call, they are checking on the wildebeest just to make sure, is it for us? Is there something else we should be aware of? The wind has just picked up, so they're smelling. You notice how the ears are constantly going. It's a very different reaction. If they heard a leopard or a lion calling right now, they would be in that den. Quick, 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 quick. So after we cut away back to Taylor and the Mara, Jandre and I were chatting, and Jandre was saying quite some years ago they filmed a brown hyena at the dam, at the Dam there, the Djuma Dam. And I was wondering if it was possibly a brown hyena that has escaped from Kruger, which is a different reserve north of us, that had been relocated there. Because historically speaking, they're not, the range isn't here. But it does beg the question is our research on the historical capacity of the brown hyena accurate? Again. Oh, how cute. I love hyena cubs, especially when they're smaller than this and they're all black. So these cubs are from the same litter. I was asking Tristan the other day, because as you all know, I just started this week, so this is the first time I'm seeing them. It's not my first hyena cubs, but my first hyena cubs here on Djuma at our den site here. And I was asking Tristan the age, and he said there are a few from April and then a few from July, August, when Tara was visiting again. These are the ones that are from July, August. So that would be, how many months? We're in November now, so 3 months. All right, so we are going to link to Taylor and see what she is up to up in the Mara. Maybe some hyenas come and join her predator fest up that side. You never know, and we'll keep an eye on here and see you just now.
We found a serval. I'm just trying to also not fall into one of these marshy patches. It's here. It was with the cheetah. The cheetah have now run through a lugger, which is the problem. Serval! Serval, where are you? The serval was just here. I think the serval is scared of the cheetah. It was just tucked away. It's all happening. It's in the shrub somewhere. I think it's ducked for cover. I would also if I saw 5 cheetah coming towards me. And then we had the male lion. He was roaring just a minute ago as well. I don't know where to look or what to show you anymore. Let me just do a quick reposition, Manu. Let's see. I think it's probably ducked in here. Let me scan again. Let's go around. Put my lights on now. The cheetah have run in here somewhere, so it's going to take us a while to try and get them again. Because we can't go in there. We might have to try to find a road that comes out the other side. I don't think we're going to get a view of this serval, I'm afraid. I think it's too petrified. And a cheetah have crossed. Oh my gosh, it's all happening. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to show you anymore. I've spoiled too many options. Let me just try from this angle one last time for the serval. And then we will leave it. Nah. I think it's gone in that little thicket. Sneaky. Okay, that's all right. We're going to try and go around and see if we can get those cheetah again. It seems as though Tristan's luck has changed for the better. He's found himself a spotted animal too.
Well, I have found a spotted animal, which is right on my right-hand side, and my favorite spotted animal of them all. Little Thamba is back from his Mala vacation. It's a day late, but it doesn't matter. It's still good to see him and see him walking around. And he's heading northwards towards Chitwa camp at the moment. So really nice to see him. Sorry, I'm a bit in the way here, but he's looking absolutely fine. He's a little on the skinnier side. He could do with the meal, but he's absolutely looking wonderful otherwise. So no markings or anything from his jaunt down south. Luckily, nothing caught up with him and caused any issues or anything like that. So super glad to see little Thamba. He's one of my favorite leopards, and so... well, he is my favorite leopard, let's be honest. I spend a lot of time with him and like spending time with him. So really good to catch up with him. I'm going to try and just get round. He's heading kind of towards the airstrip on Chitwa, which will be quite nice if he does head that way. It's difficult because he's angling in different directions and kind of, he goes north and then he goes west and he's going north. But he just kind of popped out on the road, which was quite nice of him actually. And hopefully he's going to stay in this area for a while and just kind of keep up and hopefully actually head north to Djuma. It's been a long time since we've seen him on Djuma, and I would like to have him back. Oh, hello, little steenbok. You better be careful. There's a leopard over there. Let's see if he sees the little steenbok. He's missed the steenbok completely. There's a steenbok right to my right. Thamba is still moving north and is completely missed this little antelope that was on my right-hand side, which is very lucky for that steenbok because ultimately if Thamba had seen it, it definitely would have gone into stalk mode. Now, I believe a lot of you are excited to catch up with our young man once again. As the young boys that are stealing the show these days, they definitely are the so-called showstoppers. They're the ones that have really come out in full force this winter. We've had pretty much a male domination. I mean, we've seen Thandi and Shadow, and especially Shongile was in the early parts of winter, but it's really been the boys that have provided the bulk of our sightings over the last few months. Now, please stop on top of the termite mound. Oh, look at that, and look at the beautiful light as well that he's in. It doesn't get any better than that. His coat is absolutely shimmering in this late afternoon light, and of course he's got those light colored eyes, so you tend to kind of get this gold coat with his blue-green color eye. Is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Now, looking at him today, and sort of after seeing Hosana yesterday, he's definitely not that much smaller. I mean, Hosana is getting bulky, but Thamba is definitely not much smaller. He's also starting to get a little dewlap that's coming down now. You can see the skin is slowly but surely starting to sag a little bit, but he's still got those big, big ears and big eyes. Come on, go sit on top of your mound. Be a good boy. Yes, he's going to hopefully just sit right over there. Now, the guys are going to go around on my left, so I don't want to block them off. I'm just going to slide forward a little bit so we've got a better view of him. Oh, look at that. That is spectacular. Now, Madeline, you say, how far south did Thamba travel? Well, I don't know how far into Malamala he actually went. I just know he crossed into Malamala. It could have been a little bit south. It could have been way south. I have no idea. But I can tell you that it's a lot further south than we've seen him on Djuma. It's a good couple kilometers down the Mulawati riverbed by the looks of things. He's a little east, obviously, of the Mulawati, closer towards the Mulawanini, but he most definitely has gone in that direction, that's for sure. So it's an incredible thing that he's moving around in that area. And I wonder if it's maybe because Hosana is starting to just mark a little bit and putting a bit of pressure on Thamba. At the end of the day, you've got Quarantine and Tingana and Hosana all on this northern side of him. And so it's difficult for him to kind of find and establish himself somewhere there. But it would be nice if he came back to Djuma, because lately we've had very little pressure in and around that Mulawati section, unless, of course, it's his mom that is pressurizing him a lot, because we know she's been a lot in the Mulawati area and has been up and down that section, kind of scent marking and vocalizing, and so maybe she's been putting pressure on him to come southwards, and that's why he's ended up in this area. Also, at the end of the day, he spent a lot of time around the Chitwa camp where there's a lot of prey animals. He's also had success with kind of scavenging of some of the kills that Tingana's made, and so I suppose it makes sense to hang around in this area. There's a lot of prey animals because of the dam and the airstrip that provides perfect habitat for a number of different antelope species. So in the end, I suppose it really isn't the worst place for him to be, but he's going to have to be careful. The predator density around the dam at the moment is high. We know that Tingana was robbed recently, in fact not very far from where we are right now, by the Styx Pride. So the Styx are around, the Birminghams are around, you've got the 3 male leopards, you've got Kuchava, so it's a lot of predator activity all around him, and that's not even counting any of the hyenas either. So I think if I was him, I would move northwards and go and find a little pocket on north of the Mulawati, that's for sure. Of course, I'm being biased because I want him to come that side anyway. Palin, there's two reasons for a dewlap. One is obviously it's far more intimidating to any other male. The bigger that head and neck area, the more intimidating. It's much like a lion's mane. The bigger the mane, the more intimidating it is to another one. So it's the same thing with a leopard. The other purpose that it serves is, remember, male leopards will confront each other and will bite each other and fight. And if they grip on that skin, there's a lot of loose skin. It means those canines are not going to get into the throat as easily, and therefore it's a little bit of protection. Also, again, like a lion's mane, it just forms a bit of protection around the head. So that loose skin just helps with that situation. But that is absolutely beautiful. And his teeth are looking healthy and white as well. Can't tell me that he's not one of the most stunning looking leopards we've seen in a long time. Well, I say so. I think our two boys are probably two of the most beautiful boys we could possibly wish for. Now, you can see he's not too perturbed by cars. He's going to move off the mound and carry on, and I think he's going to go into quite thick bush. Now, Kirst, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you very well. The comms are not very good down here at Chitwa, so maybe if you can just repeat. Right, now I believe Noelle is still at the hyena den and the cubs are out and about and playing, so while we keep up with Thamba, let's go back across to her.
Welcome back, everyone. I was just sitting here and thinking, so we've had all the major predators this afternoon's drive between myself, Tristan, Taylor, and Scott, except wild dogs. So we've done exceptionally well. And then Taylor got that amazing serval, which is just such a bonus. And the cuteness factor of our little hyena cubs is too much. Just before we came back, when you guys were busy with Tristan with his gorgeous leopard, the cub on the left repositioned himself, I swear, just so that the camera angle was better, so that you could look at their two cute faces side by side. You hear him listening. So what you will see normally with a litter like this is one will be a male and one will be a female. Hyena mums usually have between 1 and 3 pups. And one of these, cubs, excuse me, one of these cubs the female will end up being most likely one of the more dominant females coming on. And it's interesting because she sometimes tries to kill her brother. It's siblicide. And usually the brother will be smaller. So without having seen much, I would guesstimate that the one on the left is the male and the one on the right is the female. But that is a very large guesstimation, and that's just from how they look and the way they've been moving around. So Joy, you are saying that these hyenas are looking really thin. So Joy, for me, they're looking the way that they should look. They're little 3-month-old, roughly, babies. They're also lying down, so I don't know if maybe the angle is giving a little bit of a misrepresentation. But yeah, no, they look very, very healthy and happy. Their bellies will bulge out after they nurse or if mom brings them any meat. But this is pretty normal for their age and how they're supposed to look. Good question, though. Oh, look, they know we're talking about them. So Philip, you're wondering if hyena cubs hollow out the den themselves. So this termite mound, which by the way is probably about 1,000 to 2,000 years old. This termite mound is an old one. The holes that they're in were created by aardvark and then probably renovated a little bit by warthog, and then the hyenas came in. The cubs inside will build sort of little tiny spaces for them to fit in that the parents cannot fit in. That's where they practice their siblicide for the most part, but it's not too much of a renovation situation. A little bit, but not much. They also do it to try and give themselves a little space in case a leopard were to come along and get into the den and want to kill them. Not necessarily for eating. Predators just don't like other predators. Although that being said, I have seen a male leopard kill and eat a hyena cub. All right, we are going to head back up to Taylor. She's got an amazing sighting with some lions and see what's happening there with her, and we'll wait here until you come back.
Have a little listen. I think I've solved the mystery. That male we saw with the female that charged in towards the cheetah, I think he's part of the same coalition, and I can hear another male lion that just finished roaring before these two started to the left of us. I think these are the 4 male lions that we've sort of heard stories about. Nice to finally meet them. I don't know who they are. They're relatively young though. They look to be about 4 years old or so, 4.5 years old. So not huge, not massive just yet, but getting there. And I think what's happened is I think that female that we saw, I think it is the same female with the young, very, very young cubs that we had an amazing sighting of the other morning. I don't think that these males are the father of that cub, and I think she is trying to distract that one that has now spotted her and trying to lure them away from her den site, because if these aren't the fathers, which I don't think they are, I think they're a little bit too young to be mating just yet. Of course, male lions can mate from 2.5, 3 years old, but the chance of them actually getting an opportunity to mate because of the big dominant males is very, very slim. And we're not far from boxer nose, from the earless pride either. We're in that area. That's only 2 or 3 kilometers away from here. So I think that's what's happened. I think that's why that lioness moved her cubs. I think there was just too many predators within the area, and maybe these boys moved in too, because, yeah, shame. Sure, that must be very, very stressful for that female. You could see she wasn't too keen on him. She was acting quite submissive, not sort of fighting back either. Maybe not trying to be too suspicious. So, I think this is a very, very good spot to hang around in the next few days. I think this is we've hit a jackpot in terms of wildlife. Wow. Okay, that was incredible. I'll call you back if they do start to roar again, which I hope they do. It seems as though Tristan's spotted cat is walking past the car.
Well, he's just walked past the car and it was so nice. He was stopped on top of a little mound next to us, but he's now carried on and is slowly walking north again. He's really putting on a show this afternoon. He's amazing. He's walking right past the car, looking at us, and he's just so chilled. It's so nice to see. I love spending time with this little guy. He's always so busy as well. Interestingly enough, he has been sniffing around as well. He kind of seems as though he's picking up the scent of maybe another leopard, because he's smelling, he's phlegm grimacing. So I wonder if he's not smelling where Tingana was over the last few days, or maybe even Kachava, because we know Kachava's also been walking around here quite a lot recently. So it seems as though that's what he's busy doing. Now, he's going towards another termite mound, so I'm going to just try and kind of move alongside him and go towards that same termite mound, and hopefully he and I will have the same idea. Come on, Thamba, up the mound for us. Be a good boy. There we go. That's perfect. Well done. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? We're just going to draw a little bit side on with him. Hello, my boy. Isn't he just the cutest little leopard? He's going to be a serious individual later in life, but for now, he's still got that kind of cute cubby look to him. Are you going to lie down right next to us? Come on. Nope, I think he's decided he's going to carry on. There we go, he's going to sit. I'm just going to go forward a little bit because there are some vehicles behind me, so I don't want to get into a situation where they can't see either. So I'm going to just stop right here. Hello, boy. Melissa, I think they do. You're right. A leopard does walk with a little swagger, doesn't it? I think they know that they are good-looking individuals. No, I don't know. I suppose cats all have it. If you look at domestic cats, they also have that like kind of little sway of the hips and little bounce in those back legs. I suppose it's just a cat trait. Cats do think they are better than everybody else. You even see it in domestic cats with the things they get up to. So I feel like leopards would be in the same category. They have a bit more of a swagger, though, than maybe something like the lions do, but he is just looking so good. And to be eye level with a leopard at 2-3 meters is just the most insane thing. It's a wonderful experience, and it's something I can't really describe to you. And so between the two boys, I've thoroughly gotten my birthday wishes, that's for sure. I've really thoroughly enjoyed the last couple drives with the two young males of our area, and I'm going to just carry on going forward with them around the mound. So hopefully he'll just stay there for 2 seconds as we loop around here. You're right, buddy. Senzo got a little branch on the shoulder, which does happen from time to time when off-roading. Sorry, Senz. Oh, he got a little fright from the other vehicle starting behind him. I think I'm going to just stop here for now. Just let him calm down again. He got a bit of a fright from the vehicle behind, hit a stump, and he was a bit kind of nervous as to what was going on. So just let him kind of relax again and calm down before we move. Look at this. So, Ilana, who's 14 years old, just wait for Thamba to walk past before we get through this, but you want to know, do male and female leopards, or female leopards particularly, ever fight over territory? Most certainly they will. We know that Shongile and Thandi had a massive fight, and that was because Thandi perceived Shongile to be starting to move into her territory. She probably at that stage already knew she was pregnant, and she was starting to then kind of create a situation where she didn't want other females around, and so she pushed them out. So females will certainly get physical if it gets down to it. They will go after one another and fight with one another, and of course we know the males do it as well. So it's a tough life to be a leopard out here, and whether you're male or female, you can potentially get into quite a nasty fight. Now, Senzo, any blood, or you're all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
you're good. No blood. If there's no blood, then you're surviving just fine. Off-roading is not for sissies, and I'm joking. It's a tough thing to off-road through here. There's lots of this monkey orange, and this monkey orange has got a sharp little thorn structure to it. It's not very pleasant at all to be able to get hit by it, I know, and so it's not very good at all. I actually got hit by one earlier, and I have a bit of blood on my arm too, so I know exactly what it's like. Now, while Thamba just meanders along the path, let's go back to Noel and those cheeky little hyena cubs, as I'm sure they start to wake up and play.
Well, Tristan, cheekiness isn't really describing our little hyena cubs at the moment, but cute, definitely cute. Half asleep hyena cubs. Oh, shame. So cute. Look at that little face. So adorable. It's interesting, over the years, I've had about a 50-50 split with guests on guests that just absolutely cannot stand hyena. They think this is the ugliest thing they've ever seen, and guests who absolutely love them. I fall into the absolutely love them category. Jean-Dre also falls into the absolutely love them category. And I don't know, look at that. You have to love a hyena after seeing that. And also, they're just such an important part of the ecosystem. Along with vultures, we talked about it a couple of drives ago, with the vultures being part of the garbage disposal system of the bush and not being able to get a lot of the diseases. Hyenas are the same. They also can't get many of the diseases that other animals here can get. And if I am remembering correctly, they can get rabies, but they're only carriers of rabies. And they can pass away from it, but it's their stomach lining and the sorry, I was just looking up and I got excited. Maybe Mum was coming back from the other side. And the juices inside actually aid them in not getting sick. I'm going to need to, when I get home, just triple check on that. I've got a very good friend who's an ecologist up in the north central part of South Africa, and we were having a conversation about this a few months ago, and I'm missing a finer point at the moment. But anyway, back to the cuteness factor. Oh, Taylor, sorry, these cuteness things are not going to go away, but Taylor has lions roaring again, so we definitely have to go up there and listen to that amazing sound.
What an incredible day it has been. It really has been a whirlwind of emotions for me, from being stressed and frustrated with myself for doing stupid things to them being completely surprised by nature and spoilt by listening to one of the most powerful sounds you can hear in the world. And not just from these two boys. There are two other big male lions around us, and they have been initiating the calling. And then these fellas are responding. Actually, I think they're a little bit older now that they've turned over. Maybe they're about 4.5, going on 5 years old, actually. I mean, their manes haven't quite fully developed. They remind me of what the Charleston males looked like when they first came in and chased the four-ways males out in the Sabi sand in the southern sector. So I would say they're probably around, yeah, I'm changing my mind. They're around 5 now that they've sat up and faced towards us. So coming into their prime, you see, they've still got relatively pink noses. They're actually incredibly beautiful looking lions, aren't they? Barely any scratches, so they've been keeping out of harm's way. Now, don't you go and mess with that lioness, please, because she's got 4 very adorable little cubs, and I'd like to see them make it towards adulthood. But sadly, the likelihood of that happening, especially with these young and upcoming upstarts, I don't know if it's going to be too good for her. I think she needs to move out of this area completely. There's just too many predators around here. Philip, you said they rumble your vehicle. My bones were rattling when they were roaring. Yes, boy, I'm talking about your roar in particular. was spectacular. It feels like he's looking straight at me as I speak. I better say nice things. Yeah, it's incredible. That's the most amazing thing about a lion's roar, is that you don't just hear it, is that you feel it. And we're very close to these boys. We must only be about 30 meters away, 35 meters away. And it's unbelievable. So firstly, we had the dying calls of the other two boys in the distance, and just as these fellas started, my goodness, I had to hold on to the steering wheel so I didn't fall out the car. It was vibrating so much. It is the most amazing thing. We often talk about our favorite sounds to hear when we're out in Africa, and I don't think there's any other call that tops a lion's roar, especially when you're in close proximity. I mean, it's amazing to hear it, whether it's, kilometers away, but to hear it up close like that it's a breathtaking experience. It's something that you can't explain it. You have to just experience it for yourself. That needs to go to the top of your bucket list. It really, really does. Every time I hear it, I get goosebumps. My heart starts to race. It's invigorating. Well, we'll wait again for these boys to roar. Hopefully it's not going to be the end of it. Maybe we'll get lucky 3 times the charm. Tristan, however, has got a lovely young man named Thamba sitting up on a termite mound.
I do indeed, Taylor, and while you might be being spoilt by your favorite animal and your favorite call, I suppose not your favorite animal, but your favorite predator, I am being absolutely spoiled by our young man. He's sitting on this glorious termite mound. It's that late afternoon, so the light behind him is soft. It is just as good as you could possibly get, and he's looking as regal as he could possibly be for a young boy. So I'm thoroughly loving every second that I'm having with our young man this afternoon. It's a real treat. I was having a tough afternoon. I don't know why. I just wasn't in a good headspace this afternoon, and it's much better now that I've had some spots and filled up with a bit of Thamba. So it really has been beautiful, and like I say, the light around him is just so wonderful. It's those kind of pastel colors that are starting to form in the air itself, so you're getting this kind of gradient effect that's coming up, and so he's kind of being backdropped by this light blue purple color at the moment, and it's just, look at that, isn't that wonderful? And his eyes are still that light coloration up, and off we go again. So that didn't last for too long. I thought he might be down for a bit longer, but I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to actually keep up with him. He is heading straight towards Chitwa Lodge. He's going to cut through past some vehicles quickly, and so I'm going to just reverse and catch him, hopefully coming out onto the airstrip side. And once he comes out that side, then I'm going to kind of probably leave him, because at the end of the day he is going straight into the lodge, and I think there might be one other person that is on standby for this, and if he goes into the lodge, of course, well, we can't really actually follow him in there, so it'll be nice to just give others a chance and let them also get a little view of Thamba. But we've certainly been spoiled. He's been on about 5 termite mounds since we've been following him this afternoon. It's been just one after another, after another, after another, which is certainly very cool. Now, actually, in front of me, where he's just crossed, is a beautiful tall plant. I don't know if you can see it. It kind of sticks out in the grass. It's just a straight on here, since that plant there. So it's one of the first ones that I've actually seen. Now, it's called a tall white squill, is its name. And tall white squills grow every year, and they shoot up very quickly, and the elephants absolutely love them. They also can be used to make ink, so if you harvest the bulb, you can make an ink out of them, which is very cool. Right. Now, I'm going to just quickly try and shoot around and get one last view of Thamba crossing the airstrip, because I think it'll be absolutely beautiful. But while I get into that position, because it's going to be a few minutes still, let's go back to Noelle and her beautiful little hyena cubs, and I hope that she's being spoiled by them and is loving every second.
Welcome back. So they've just stood up. They've just started. Oh, and then we're lying down again. But that one's there we go. A little bit of play. That's what we've been waiting for. So the conversation I was talking about earlier with my friend that's an ecologist, we were actually talking about, I've remembered it more in full now, talking about how hyenas don't present symptoms such normal, quote-unquote, rabies symptoms as other mammal species because of the way that they deal with other diseases. And then Jeandre was just mentioning that he's heard of rabid hyenas in Malawi causing problems. So it does happen. It's just obviously dependent on individual a little bit, but then mitigated by the way that their body functions. I'm sorry, this is so cute. Look at them. Look at their little teeth. So those are sharp little teeth. Remember, hyenas have the strongest jaws. The torque is the largest of any land mammal in their jaws. So they're not biting each other hard right here. It is a little love nibble, but if they get a bit too rambunctious, they are going to hurt each other. Shame. Joy, you're wondering what's the difference between a pup and a cub? Good question. I know I keep accidentally switching between the two with hyenas. So because hyena is a hyena. They're not a cat or a dog. They're a hyena. But taxonomically, they fall under Felidae at some point in the hierarchy. That is why they have cubs. Anything that falls under Canidae has a pup, and under Felidae is a cub. Straight down the line there. But there's a lot of conjecture over the two, but that is the end all be of it. All right, while the cuteness carries on, we are going to head over to Taylor, who is still up in the Mara and still has lions for you to view. Enjoy.
Look at what we've got. It's my favorite animal in the whole wide world. It's one of the little gerbils. We've decided it's a robust gerbil. And the lion's wrong. And a millipede. Look at Mildred at the bottom right-hand corner. What a time to be alive, as Megan would say. Can you hear the lions? You're a very lucky little gerbil that the lions would not want to eat you. Maybe a little snack. And not so vigorous this afternoon now, is it? I suppose because it's all on its own. I'm not sure if it's a male or female. It's a bit difficult to tell, and I hope it doesn't reveal itself. I don't know if I could handle another sighting like that. But very interesting little creatures. I mean, when I first saw them, I thought the way that it was moving around and leaping into the air, it was very gerbil-like. But then I saw the length of its tail initially, and I thought, oh, that's like a rat, because the gerbils that I'm used to seeing down in SA, they've got much shorter tails. And it's just quite interestingly enough that this particular species of gerbil out here has a very, very long tail. So I was a bit confused initially, but we had some help from some wonderful people who managed to idea it. It's very difficult when you don't have books with you. And yeah, it's quite a special thing to see. Foxy Bingo, you've said not the gerbils again. Don't say that. They were classic entertainment. Whee! Look at them bounce. They're incredible the way that they can leap, and that's one of their sort of anti-predatory behaviors, is if something is trying to go for them, they will leap and bound about to try and get away. I suppose much like antelope and gazelle stot and pronk to an extent. What are you feeding on? Did you get a little seed, grass seed, or maybe a little flower? Nibbling on little bits of vegetation. What wonderful sightings we've had. And when I put the spotlight on them, that's how I spotted it. They panic, they freak out. So I took the spotlight off them completely. And even though it's a nocturnal creature, it just goes to show that they also prefer to be viewed in infrared. So we will try and view everything that we can in infrared. You eating, yeah, little flowers. Oh, that's nice. That is so cool, and I'm so glad we kind of know what species it is now. We were wondering, because at first we thought maybe it's the giant pouched rat, but it isn't. They're too small. It's only about 30 centimeters long, I would say, with its tail. Its tail is much longer than its body. Oh my goodness, I need to take a deep breath after all of that today, trying to take it all in. I got to see a Kenyan Mildred, which was quite cool because I haven't seen one of those yet. And, of course, my favourite friends, the gerbils that seem to follow me around. However, there's another star of the show, and his name is Thamba, and I know that he wants to be the last thing that you all see for tonight.
Well, he's about to give us the most unbelievable show because he's just crossing the beautiful big open airstrip of Chitwa. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? That has got to be one of the best ways to finish a very vibey, as Megan would say, action-packed afternoon, that's for sure. It's been everything for everyone, I suppose. There's been all kinds of animals and pretty much every kind of predator we could ask for, that's for sure. And Taylor, I think, has been the most spoilt of all of us, that's for sure. Although, careful, boy. There's one of those devil thorns that I was talking about. So I was telling you about the warthogs having a tough time. You can see the leopards get them too. So they do get the leopards from time to time. Shame, boy. That must have hurt. Yes, rather take care of it. don't let it hurt you. But I've seen this happen to lions, I've seen it happening to warthogs, I've seen it happening to all kinds of different kinds of animals, so it's amazing to see. Now he is heading straight into Chitwa. We're not going to have him for much longer, unfortunately. I'm just going to position ourselves so we can watch him kind of go down into the camp itself. And so while I kind of get into the right place, which should be over here because he should come down the road. So I think it was Server Wolf, is that right, Kirst? Sorry, I couldn't hear you very nicely. You say, what a great end to a safari. Well, I think so. I think we've had lions roaring, we've got leopard, we've got hyena cubs playing. It really doesn't get too much better than that. I think we've had a sterling afternoon out in the bush between all of us, and I believe that the cheetah that Taylor is with have started to hunt again, so I think they're going to be doing a Facebook Live with that. So if you want to carry on with the safari, no, we're not doing a Facebook Live apparently, sorry about that. I thought we might just do so, but anyway. Right, unfortunately that's all we've got time for. You can see Thamba's disappearing into Chitwa, but like I said, it's been the most epic afternoon. Taylor's been spoilt, Noel's been spoilt, I've been spoilt, Scotty was spoilt, and well, the two locations have really combined into an absolute amazing afternoon. So it's been a wonderful time to be out. I certainly have thoroughly enjoyed myself, as I'm sure everybody else has. So from Taylor, Scott, Noel, myself, and all the cam ops, Kirsty and FC, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Sunrise Safari.